Hello, I'm Roger Bisbee, and in this video I want to take you through the installation of a Roofmaker Slimline lantern. Now, as you can see, we've built the flat roof, we've laid the decking, the insulation is actually sandwiched in between the decking, and we've built what they call the curb. Now, when you build the curb, the minimum is 25 millimeters, but in actual fact, on a flat roof, it's a good idea to have a bit more than that to stop people walking over it. At the back of the roof, the curb is slightly shallower than it is at the front of the roof, and that's due to the fall. We've got the fall on the roof going this way, so you'll see that there's a kind of tapering edge, but when the roof lantern goes on, it goes on this curb absolutely level, and it's got a built-in curb of its own. Now, the great thing about the Roofmaker lantern is that you don't have to lay the roof membrane, the waterproofing, whatever you're using, whether it's fiberglass or felt or one of the single ply membranes. You don't have to do that before you fit the roof lantern, so you can bring that membrane up afterwards into the roof lantern to waterproof it. That's a good convenient thing, because it means you're not hanging around waiting for trades to come along and complete the waterproofing of the roof. You can get on with the job. Now, all Roofmaker lanterns are made to measure, but because it's a structural element, it's supporting a lot of glass, there are obviously some restrictions on the sizes. If you're going for a 4 meter long window, you can go up to 2 meters wide, so 4 by 2. If you go over that up to 6 meters, then you have to narrow that width down to 1.6. And if you narrow the width down even further to 1.2, you can go to any length you like. Now, if you've got an orangery and you want one single lantern all the way along it, this is absolutely ideal. But all those measurements, all those dimensions are given on the chart. So the other important dimension is that when we build this curb, this upstand, we make sure that we've got 70 millimeters of width on that upstand to support the frame. So Robin's constructed this roof, and the important thing is that the curb all around here, which is where the lantern's going to sit, is absolutely level. But obviously with a flat roof, you've got to have some fall in it, and you don't got water. You don't want water being trapped behind the lantern. So what have you done here, Robin?
Okay, so where you're standing, Roger, is the high spot, so all the falls fall away. So what I've done in this particular roof, because we've got a tiled edge that goes all the way around between, say, the head of the frame and the high spot, the high flat roof, we've got an equal trim. So I've actually formed the falls in two directions, and they're effectively mitered in the corner, so the trim's equal.
Yeah, that's nice. So when you look at the building, you won't see a taper going on the edge.
No, you get a perfectly parallel trim above the tiles and the LED flashing.
That's beautiful. Right, let's get this frame on. This frame actually comes ready assembled, doesn't it? But if it's bigger, you might get it in a kit form, which is just fitted together with cleats.
Yeah, so it's mitered, and then there's an engineered cleat that goes inside. It's all pre-drilled. It's just a matter of carefully getting it together and putting the screws in.
All right, let's get going. Do you know what? It doesn't matter how many years you've been in this game, when you do the measurements and you actually physically put the frame on and you go, it fits. It's always a little bit of a relief, isn't it?
Absolutely, there's always a bit of anxiety, especially when you've not got the product. Let's say the product's not arrived, but you've got to get the thing ready, and the product arrives and you're like, please, will it go? But I mean, the thing is, they were quite clear about the way we gave them the dimensions and the way our curb had to be, so it was quite simple.
Okay, the other thing that I like is the fact that this is delivered by their own carriers. Now, any builder knows the nightmare situations where you've got a load of stuff that's delivered by a courier, half of it comes damaged, it slows the job down, you're ready to do the job, you can't complete it. So the fact that this has all come from their own transport, straight out of their factory, straight onto site, there's no damage to it. It's a rail colour. You can have this in obviously any colour you like, but it's a rail colour, and if there was any damage to it, you could actually touch it up, and the company will provide you with a touch-up pen if you need it. But I always try and work on the basis that zero tolerance. We don't have any damage. You know, we don't be cavalier about it. Then you haven't got to worry about touching it up afterwards. You know,
absolutely.
So it arrived in perfect nick. So we're going to fit it in perfect nick.
Yeah. The name of the game is take your belt off, take your hammer off, put that to one side, put your tools to one side, and just make sure you've got a really good, clean work environment. Then you're not going to go wrong. to do, Roger, is we're going to put a silicone bead 20 millimetres in from the inside edge. So it's roughly on the inside of the thermal break. Because we're going to drop this onto a wet bed of silicone. Before I do that, I'm just going to, because it fits dead flush with my upstand, just going to whack a couple of those on there so we can dip the edge against it and lower it down without trying to slide it so it doesn't skid around. And it just means that we get it first time exactly in position.
Okay. I thought when you said you got a tip for me, it was going to be the 330 at Kempton Park.
Happy?
That's a deep question.
And drop. So straight away we're happy with that. We'll just whip them off.
Lower the speed to something
So we're nice and sensible.
a child can use.
Because it's all like these impact drivers, they've got so much power, they just drive all the way through.
Yeah, that's the thing people don't do is change the setting on them, that's why.
Perfect.
You've got your hex bit, Robin.
It's time to get all of the other components out of the box. It's simple, it's in one box, and there's a checklist on the front, which I always find particularly helpful because I don't know what I'm looking for. So at least here I can go through the list. Someone's already checked that it's in there, so that's what we're going to do next. We're going to get it all out, put it to one side, identify the bits, and it should be fairly simple from there on in. So let's have a quick pull out what we got. Right. All wrapped up. And in the bottom, let's give this a little fixings, and plenty of that. You're good there, mate. I think you're perfect there.
The first one takes like 2 hours, the second one takes an hour, the third one takes 20 minutes. So these are the glazing packers, and I've put a few of these in the past, and if you'd asked me, if I hadn't read the instructions, I would have put it in smooth side up. But in actual fact, it goes in that way round with the grooves because the glass sits in that groove there. So just a little thing. And because we're going to put a dab of silicone on each end just to stop them sliding around, it's best to get them the right way around first time out. Now just a little bit of science here. These frames are thermally broken, and when I said to a customer the frames are thermally broken, she said to me, oh, I want broken ones. Anyway, it means basically you've got a bit of insulating between the two layers, and you can see this bar only comes to the inner layer, so there's no transmission of cold from the outer to the inner. Right, in at the bottom first then.
Yeah, jip this nice and gently. Right, Roger?
Go on.
Yep.
I'm going to need that sucker on the other one.
There we go.
On the big one.
That's good.
Oh, mind your thing, Robin.
All right. Good. We not? Yeah, perfect. They were in a treat then. I'd like to say I've learnt a few new things today, Roger.
Yeah, but you haven't.
I have, yeah. One thing in particular I've learnt, courtesy of the guys from Roofmaker, is the fact that 40 degrees is the optimum pitch for self-cleaning glass. I never knew that.
So that's it, that's our first ever installation of a Roofmaker lantern, and quite honestly the words piece of cake come to mind because there wasn't anything difficult about doing this. And what I really like is the slim profile, the fact that it's very minimalist, it's strong obviously, but you're not looking at glazing bars when you look up to the sky. What do you reckon, Robbie?
Yeah, I think it's really nice. It's a straightforward product once you've got your head around the instructions, which is fairly straightforward. Easy clean glass, triple glazed in this case, so that's nice as well.
Yeah, so good insulation values. I think it's a winner, and I reckon we get a lot faster. That first one took us a couple of hours because we were feeling our way and filming.
Yeah.
I reckon the next one we're doing half that.
Yeah, probably,
even less.
Yeah,
than
no
that.
problem. No problem.
Yeah. So if you want more information on this Roofmaker roof lantern, go to their website where all the details of the product, and you can see all the sizes and all the configurations.